A very good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to our final JRF Power session, and I feel extremely happy and grateful today. It has been a month since we started this series, and it has been so fulfilling and so enriching an experience for all of us. As some of you were mentioning, morning sessions really helped us to get that energy to work throughout the day. So, today we have with us our own Dr. Kalyani Vallath. Ma'am, I have no words to describe you or thank you. I just cordially welcome you to the session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madhavi. It is my greatest pleasure to be back here, do a session with all of you. And the exam is really near. I know that you're all studying well. Some of you are stressed, but stress is not going to help us. Look at the positive side. We have covered a lot. We have been reading, researching, but you need to do more. What is the meaning of JRF? You would say JRF means Junior Research Fellowship. But I would say JRF means more marks. And how do you get more marks? When you get to do more reading and research. Knowledge, not from mugging up from somewhere here and there. Knowledge that comes from genuine interest. You should have general knowledge. You should have an expertise or practice in reading more academic language. You should have a practice in reading authors' styles and also practice in doing questions, because you should do that fast. But questions alone cannot help. It is your thinking that does it. All right, with that, I'm sure that you have been following our suggestions and reading more and more and researching. So today's questions are not very difficult. They are helpful to remember various authors and works in areas, that's all. This is called the final JRF Power session, but it need not be the final, because you should all get up early in the morning and revise and read with a fresh mind until the exam. And also, I want to give you a surprise. Today at 3 p.m., starting from today, at 3 p.m., there is going to be a little surprise from me in YouTube. I will not tell you what it is. At 3 p.m., you will see it. Okay. Now, the two topics I'm going to deal with are contemporary Indian writers in English and research in India. Sorry, in English, research in English. So let us go into the questions on contemporary Indian writers in English. What is the central plot of Arundhati Roy's The Ministry of Utmost Happiness? Is it the story of a transgender woman navigating life in Delhi? A family saga spanning 3 generations in Kashmir? A political thriller about corruption in the Indian government? A love story set against the backdrop of 2002 Gujarat riots? If you can choose only one option, what will you choose? Everybody is saying A story of a transgender woman navigating life in Delhi. One person said a love story set against the backdrop of the 2002 Gujarat riots. It can be either A and D. But if you have to choose one option, it has to be D. Navigating life in Delhi is, that is what I said. You have to have experience reading. It's also about language. If you can choose one option, this is pakka correct. There are two plots in Ministry of Utmost Happiness. One plot is the story of Anjum, a trans woman who is leading a very tragic life. Story. It's a story of rejection. And she's living in a cemetery in Delhi. Cemetery, she's taking refuge. Navigating life is not that good a summary of her life. But it is the love story of who? Tilo. She's an architect and she represents Arundhati Roy herself. Tilo, who is having a not so steady love affair with Musa, a freedom fighter. Musa is a freedom fighter and their love affair is not a traditional, conventional love affair. It is an on and off love affair because it is not happening in a very steady manner. So you can say that is right. And Godhra, Gujarat riots is very, very important there. Anjum, trans woman who is struggling and fighting with tragedy, living in a cemetery, that is also there. You can say A and D if there are two options, or just D. Okay, I should have written A and D also here. But so remember, why would they ask about books like this? Because they want you to be a student who is curious. At least, what is the plot of Ministry of Utmost Happiness? Who are the characters? Why is Ministry of Utmost Happiness important? At least that Google search you should do. But you should also have read, because they will ask, why would, what is the beginning? How does Ministry of Utmost Happiness begin? Like that also they ask, you know. So they ask about important symbols and elements there, events there. What are the important events? Now you don't have time to read the novel, but make a list of important books and authors. Sit down, make a list of, if possible, even 50, 100. Sit in Google search. You don't have to make notes. You just have to read carefully. What is the plot? What is happening in Ministry of Utmost Happiness? Like that. And remember, as students and as going to be assistant professors, you should read books. I have the habit of starting to read books, but I don't get to finish them because I have other things coming up. But I do read. You should read. Okay? Don't go wrong. You have heard somewhere that there is a trans woman in Ministry of Utmost Happiness. As soon as you see trans woman in the options and Delhi also in the options, that may not mean that is the correct answer. This is what I wanted to illustrate. Next is, which of the following novels by Anita Desai has, sorry guys, mistake, has the protagonist overcoming loneliness by caring for lots of cats? There is a character who is lonely and who is ostracized, a character who feels like an outsider, a character who is considered to be mad because always this character is with cats. As soon as I say mad, don't think it is Cry the Peacock. Maya is not mad there throughout. But in Cry the Peacock, what is the opening of Cry the Peacock? Maya's dog has died. And this dog is a symbol of her loneliness also. Her husband does not understand her and she is more with dogs. Yes, many of you said the right answer, but it is also clear that you don't know much about this book because it is with hesitation that your answer is coming. It is not Clear Light of Day. It is Baumgartner's Bombay, where Hugo Baumgartner is a Jew. He suffered from Holocaust. He comes to India and he's a shabby old man searching for, leftover food. And this man is arrested in India also because he is fair and he is an outsider. Everywhere he is an outsider. Even though we say that in the exam, you can get the correct answer by elimination, that is not the sign of a real, scholar. Of course, you know about 3 books, so you know about the other. That is also scholarship. But remember, question is given wrong. What is this? I made this too much, after too much work and at night. I'm so sorry for all these stupid things I've done. Sorry. I want to show you that you should not be afraid of mistakes. You can go YouTube live also and correct there also. In Clear Light of Day, Vimla takes care of, please don't say abnormal. Abnormal, no. He is autistic. That is incorrect. Autistic brother. Baba. That is Clear Light of Day. Then Baumgartner's Bombay is about loneliness and being an outsider. And why did Anita Desai write this? Because Anita Desai had a German connection, German father and Indian mother. Right? Okay. Who won the Sahitya Academy Award in English for non-fiction in the year 2019? Who won Sahitya Academy Award for English for non-fiction in the year 2019? Is it Siddhartha Mukherjee, Siddhartha Deb? 2 Siddharthas are there, so 1 Siddhartha must be the answer. Ramachandra Guha or Shashi Tharoor? Many of you are right. It is Shashi Tharoor. Let us go back to the previous slide. What did Siddhartha Mukherjee write? Siddhartha Mukherjee wrote The Emperor of Maladies. It is about cancer. And it is a very important book, which won Pulitzer Prize. Siddhartha Mukherjee won Pulitzer Prize for The Emperor of Maladies. Siddhartha Deb is a very important writer these days. He is from Meghalaya. And he wrote The Beautiful and the Damned, one non-fiction work. I think he has written fiction also. The Beautiful and the Damned is a novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Ramachandra Guha also won Sahitya Academy Award. That was in 2011. And Shashi Tharoor won Sahitya Academy Award for An Area of Darkness. That is what it was called first. Okay, at that time it was called An Area of Darkness, but in the exam they can say Inglorious Empire because that is the current title. Inglorious Empire. You might know it is about the effects of British rule in India. Okay, next. That is Shashi Tharoor. Which of the following is a novel by the Indian-American writer, award-winning writer, Thriti Umrigar? I know that you have not heard of her. I am giving you this question so that we will learn about her. Remember, award-winning writers of present times, they will ask about. Thriti Umrigar, Indian she is, Indian American. Tell me, before we visit the goddess is by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Somebody said, all the lives we never lived. It should not be ever chosen, because you should know all the lives we never lived is by Anuradha Roy. It won 2022 Sahitya Academy Award. Please look up Sahitya Academy Awards, Pulitzer Prizes, Penn Awards, Booker Prize, all that you should not go wrong. What the Body Remembers is a novel, the first novel by Shauna Singh Baldwin. Shauna Singh Baldwin is also an Indian-American writer. She is very famous. If Today Be Sweet is by Thriti Umrigar. Thriti Umrigar's another, and this, If Today Be Sweet, is prescribed in some universities in India, in MA syllabus. I am not asking from somewhere. It is prescribed in universities, remember. And her other famous novel is The Space Between Us. The Space Between Us. It is the story of Tehmina, one woman who is caught between the cultures of Bombay and USA, Cleveland. She has to go and live there with her son, and she is feeling out of place. Okay, that is Thriti Umrigar. Next question. If Today Be Sweet is the answer. Who is the visually challenged Indian-American author who wrote a series of autobiographical works, including Walking the Indian Streets? That is also prescribed in some universities. These are all recent writers. Agha Shahid Ali, you know, the visually challenged Indian-American author. Is it V.V. Ganeshanandhan? Actually, it is a woman, this author. Is it Akhil Sharma? Is it Ved Mehta? Or is it Agha Shahid Ali? It is Ved Mehta. He wrote a series of autobiographical works. One is very famous, Delinquent Chacha. Walking the Indian Streets is also by Ved Mehta. Akhil Sharma is the author of An Obedient Father. That is little famous. Face to Face, very good. Yes, that is his work too. Ved Mehta. Mr. Kapasi is a character in. I put the question very simply, but when I explain, I will explain things. Mr. Kapasi is a character in. Is it The Mistress of Spices, The Inheritance of Loss, The Interpreter of Maladies, or The White Tiger? It is indeed The Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumbalari. Mr. Kapasi is the interpreter of maladies, the protagonist. He is an Indian tour guide and he is going with the Das family on a trip. And he is himself trapped in a loveless marriage. He works for a doctor as a translator. That is why he is called interpreter of maladies. He knows some languages and he works as a translator for a doctor. Now, he is interested in Mrs. Das, this woman with the group that he is going with the family. There is Mrs. Das. But ultimately, he's horrified to know. She herself tells him how unfaithful she is as a wife and how self-absorbed she is. He comes to know. So at that time, interpreter of maladies becomes more meaningful. It is the malady of the mind. It is the malady of human lives that we are talking about here. Did you understand? That is Mr. Kapasi, the interpreter of maladies. When you study or read about or hear about authors' works, please wonder what is interpreter of maladies. Who is he? Who is that interpreter in that novel? Find out, read. What is the summary of the interpreter of maladies? Why is the title so? There is so much information online. Make a list of all the important authors' works of recent times. American, Indian, especially Indian, post-colonial, Indian and post-colonial, more important. And some British and American also they might ask. Please do that. Now we come to research methods in English. I hope you're enjoying. Tell me in the chat box, YouTube babies and Zoom babies, are you enjoying this session? I'm going a little slow so that everybody will follow all the points. Thank you very much. Your appreciation means a lot. You know what I do in classes when I do Zoom sessions? In between, we have breaks and we call it fishing for compliments session. Because I want your feedback. I want to know how much you're loving it. Then only I get energy. If I am your energy, you are mine. Hey, in case you missed the opening of this session, guys, in YouTube, at 3 p.m. today, there is going to be a surprise. And that surprise is going to be there every day until the exam. Okay, so next we'll go on to talk about research methods in English. Who of the following is not associated with geocriticism? You will say, oh my God, I never heard of geocriticism. Maybe you did hear, but you don't know who wrote about it. Wait, relax, 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 relax. I want to thappad. Listen, as soon as you hear Raymond Williams, you will say, no, he is not in geocriticism. Thappad, thappad. Listen, I will explain. I will give you the clue. What is geocriticism? Geocriticism is writing about the geography, obviously. It is about the land. Did Raymond Williams write anything about the land? Think about it. Yes, the country and the city, that is geocriticism. The country and the city is geocriticism. Did you understand? André Lefebvre wrote about space. Space theory. Space and geology can be connected. Gaston Bachelard, you have never heard. Joseph Brewer, you should know. Joseph Brewer wrote about hysteria. Obviously, that is the answer. Because Joseph Brewer and Sigmund Freud. Joseph Brewer and Sigmund Freud both together wrote about hysteria, studies in hysteria. Did you understand? So it is Joseph Brewer. That is the answer. Sorry, Samuel. I am calling your name all the time and I forgot the name of Freud. I made him Samuel Freud. Sigmund Freud. Okay, no mistake. At 3 p.m., it is not a full crash course, but it is something you will really appreciate. Okay, next question. So remember, don't jump and answer. As soon as you see Raymond Williams, yeah, Raymond Williams did not write geocriticism. Don't think like that. Think. People with deep knowledge will not just jump and write. Okay, right. Raja Ram Mohan Roy National Agency is associated with dash. ISBN, impact factor, API score, ISBN number, research publication. The work of Raymond Williams on geocriticism, somebody is asking in the chat box, the country and the city. Dear friends, there is a 1,000 rupee criticism and theory course that I have done that you can buy. Just 1,000 rupees. Everything is covered in amazing detail, even more than I do in regular net courses. I took so many days and I'm giving it for 1,000 as a token. If you want, you buy it. If you want to study literary theory deeply, you can always contact our office, 93878-39871. Yes, many Zoom babies have been saying the correct answer. Raja Ram Mohan Roy National Agency is, again, I didn't write this. I'm so stupid. I did not write the correct answer in the slide. The answer is ISBN number. Raja Ram Mohan Roy National Agency is giving the ISBN number in India. Publishers get ISBN number from this agency. Okay? If you want to be a publisher, suppose you are you are able to write books. These days, anybody can write books. These days, because of so many technological things we have, people will start to write books. But I'm telling you, you should get ISBN number by becoming a publisher. And you can get it from Raja Ram Mohan Roy National Agency. Remember, they will ask you questions related to publication. The Delphi method is a process used to dash. Collect opinions on a particular research question. Collect relevant secondary sources. Organize citations. None of these. The Delphi method. The Delphi method is used in research, especially social sciences, where there is no scientific data for a research question. Wherever there is no scientific data for a research question, there you can collect opinions from experts. For example, in economics, budget and such discussions happen in media. When we do not have scientific data, it is social data. You collect opinions on a particular research question from experts, etc. Budget discussion is done like that, for example. Did you understand? This is to gain consensus. What do generally people think? That is, you can, about World Cup or something, you can do Delphi method research and write an article before the World Cup. For example, suppose you're a journalist. You can collect data using Delphi method about who will win, what is the performance of different players going to be, etc. and publish an article. You understand? That is Delphi method. Now, thick description denotes, is it decontextualization? Is it contextualization? Generalization? Illustration? Thick description and thin description is there. Thick description is a term used by Clifford Geertz, the famous new historicist. Thin description is reduction. Thin description. is without context. It is very reduced. Understood? And often thin description is used in some disciplines like demography, etc. It seems. Thick description, however, is different. It is contextual. It is in the middle of the context. You are placing the event. You are part of it. You are immersed in the situation. That is thick description. You cannot do thick description unless you are physically there, etc. And this thick description includes contextualization. It is more dynamic. It is not one way. It is interpretive of, for example, you are describing a wrestling match. You have to go there. You have to talk to the people. You have to, show the entire scenario. Thin description is, okay, so and so wrestled and this person won. I hope you will remember now. So context is very important because you're immersed in it. That is in thick description. Answer is contextualization. Thick description denotes context. You talk about the situation deeply. Clear na? Don't go wrong. Clifford Geertz used this term. He borrowed it from a philosopher called R-Y-L-E, Ryle. Okay, next question. In the social sciences, dash refers to the application and combination of several research methods in the study of the same phenomenon. The application and combination of multiple theories, several research methods in studying a single phenomenon. It is, as many of you are saying, triangulation. Triangulation in research means using multiple theories, multiple data sources, multiple methods to study the single phenomenon. One phenomenon is studied. So that brings me to the end of my PowerPoint presentation. I want to remind you that studying is not about knowledge alone. Studying is about what happens in your mind, the way you think. Only one thing you should do in the exam. That is relax. Think clearly. Don't get stressed. Tell yourself 1,000 times, it's okay. I will remember. Nothing will happen even if I don't pass now. I will try to pass, that's all. Otherwise, I'll study again. Like that, you should take it in the exam hall. I have to pass this time. If I don't pass, this will happen. That will. Don't think like that. Relax. Take it easy. And then you will be able to think clearly. Otherwise, as soon as you see geocriticism, you will say Raymond Williams. Did you understand? So, revise everything properly. You should have a timetable now for everything. At 3 p.m., I will help you with little something. You should make a list of all the authors' works, everything that you can remember, that you know, and Google search and study little more research. Okay? And in the exam hall, read the question clearly and answer. And from today onwards, if you have not been doing it, from today onwards, do more paper 1 also. Paper 1, you should score really well. Okay, give even more time for paper 1 in the remaining days. That is very important. Please relax and take it easy. Madhavi,
Yes,
would you like
ma'am.
to conclude?
Yes, ma'am. So, dear friends, it has been a wonderful journey. And I think we all will remember this wonderful month where we used to wake up early in the morning and fight. There was this fight between the good angel and the bad angel. And you all pushed yourself and you studied well throughout the month. We are so happy about it. We have learned a lot during the course of this month, and we would wish that you continue this till the exam and even after that. So, as we come to the end of this power session series, I would like to thank Dr. Kalyani for initiating such endeavors for the benefits of all. I would also like to extend a big thanks to our coordinators who took sessions in excellent manner and who taught us a lot. I would also like to thank all our participants without whom this never would have been possible. Last but not the least, also a big thank to the team for their support. So, thank you, one and all, and we wish